Hey guys, we're here with Jai Frasca, and we are so excited to chat with him before he takes off on a plane to star on Broadway for Wicked. You may also know him from Jersey Boys, and we're just really excited to chat with him today and find out all about what's coming up for you.
Good to be here.
Thanks for coming. So, just since we're talking about you jumping on a plane soon to fly to New York to star on Wicked, that's a dream come true, right?
Absolutely, dream come true. I mean, I've been really fortunate in my career. I started my career when I was 17 in London. I'm from Australia originally, so I moved to England when I was 16 to do college, to train. And I started my career at 17 and did lots of shows in the West End. And then moved to America and did Jersey Boys in Vegas. But have never been on Broadway. So this is the first time I'm getting to be on Broadway, and I feel like the luckiest boy in the world.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
That's really exciting. What do you go through when you got that call that you were going to be on Broadway?
I cried. I cried a lot because I had experienced, like, it is such a dream, I think, for anyone who is in musical theatre to be on Broadway. And obviously I'd been to New York quite a lot and seen many shows and wondered, like, my heart knew that I would one day do it, but also you don't know whether that really will come true. So when it really did come true and I got the email ping through saying that I was going to be offered the show from the director, Joe Mantello, it was like I literally just cried. I went to bed that night, the day I found out I was going to do it, I went to bed that night with the sorest eyes from crying with pure joy, which is the best way to go to sleep ever. You know, because it's a tough business and it's sometimes really hard to follow your dreams and not have those dreams not be deterred from it or disparaged from the way sometimes things can turn out. And so when that dream comes true, yeah, it was magical. It was really cool.
That's so fun.
Yeah, it's amazing. And since we're a little bit on that, like, when this period before Broadway, even when you're sitting down with what you're creating, do you experience a specific creative block or creative blocks in general, and is there a way that you work through them?
Yeah, to be the funny thing is, what I've learned, and I've known it from a very young age, very naturally. I started actually dancing first before I started acting and singing. So I started dancing. I danced for about a year when I was like 9, and then when I was 10, I started singing and doing acting. And quite naturally, between the age of 9 and 18, I had this naturally. And then as things progress, you learn a lot more, and then you start to, I don't want to say lose your way, but you start to go on different paths. But quite really recently, it's come back to this thing where I feel like my biggest block as an artist is if I go away from who I really am. By that I mean who I am in my soul. And when I connect to that, that's when I feel, for a better choice of words, that's when I feel magic happens. And then I've been thinking about it recently because as an actor, you know, we're all given, as an actor, you're given the chance to go into audition. That's how 9 times out of 10 you're going to get a job. And so, you know, you're very much, you feel like you're competing, when actually what I've been thinking lately is that there is no competition, because how I say the line when I'm connected to who I truly am in my essence is no one else can do that. And then as I sort of started to discover that in my career, I actually started to look at paintings and go, what makes this painting so beautiful is that no one can brush the brushstroke the way that that particular artist has done. No one can dance. You know, we can all do a double pirouette or, you know, throw a leg up in the air, but it's about how that's done, and no one can do that exactly the way that each of us can do it individually. It's the same with singing. The way someone sings a note, you know, singing a top G is singing a top G, but actually on a technical level, sure, but on a emotional level, no one artist can do that the same. So when you really truly connect into that, I feel like that's when everyone is at their best. And the funny thing is, as an actor, the process is we're always thinking, what do they want from me? Which you do have to think about, but really the best process, or what I've really discovered anew, is if I connect to what I feel like it should be said from my soul, then whether I get the job or not doesn't matter, because it's been a great day. I've gone in, I've been truthful, and they'll either love the way I did it, or it won't be what they were looking for. And when I had the opportunity to go and sing for Craig at Telsey & Co. in New York, my thought was, before that process, this is like a dream, just getting to sing in the middle of Times Square for this wonderful casting director. But with this opportunity, I'm going to do it as me. And I can't help but think it was probably one of the first times I ever did that for me, as me, not thinking about what they wanted. And I feel like I just feel like I used to do it much more naturally when I was younger. And so it's almost like a full circle. I've understood it more now, really, really recently. Did I just go off on a tangent?
No, it made me think, you know, I think a lot of actors go in and there's people in there and there's so much going on. Do you have any advice of like how to really connect to yourself, or something that you did to really ground yourself and get to that place?
Yeah, I think it's really hard in the world that we live in, with social media and within specifically an actor's life. With social media, we are looking at other people's lives, but we're looking at what they want us to see. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's extreme on either level, and maybe it's a happy medium is really where the truth is. And as an actor, you're going in thinking, you're in the waiting room, am I as good looking? Do I look right? Or they look better? Or what is that? But actually, the real thing is, if you are running, it's like a saying I heard once, if you're running your own race, not only do you always win, but you're also happy for those who are winning around you. And so I think probably like advice to people, not people who are people who are aspiring actors, but also people who are already in the business at the top of their game. Like, if you stop running your own race and you look to the side, technically you fall back because you're looking elsewhere. And it is a discipline and a focus to run your own race, because it is so easy in the world that we live in to look over your shoulder, you know. And if you're gonna look, go, wow, good for you, not I wish I, because that person, going back to what I was saying originally, that person can't do what you can do. And if you're trying to do what that person is doing, you're giving away a part of your magic, because you're trying to be that, not tapping into the own magic that is within you. And by magic, I mean spirit, God, whatever you believe in. If you don't believe in that, just whatever you believe in your soul. I tend to say magic because I think it is magical.
I love magic.
Magic.
You have to
I believe in magic.
I believe in magic.
You have to believe for it to happen.
Absolutely. And it is like there are little miracles all the time. So, you know, it's funny, I feel like when you are running your own race, when you're being true to who you are, then, you know, the universe rises up to meet you in that moment. And actually, we can all dream massive dreams, but what the outward universe or God, what they can actually dream for you is so much more. And you have to be open to accept that. And I think if you're being truly who you are and living true to that, then you are open for those blessings to come to you. I feel like if you're trying to achieve something, you're slightly pushing it away. And I know that from experience. Like, I literally have spent a good portion of my career trying, to the point where it almost felt like I had it in my hand and it's just slipped through at the last second. But that, I wonder what would have happened if I had just held out my hand and gone, okay, maybe it would have landed there. But you have to go through that to know that as well. So it's always a blessing.
Part of the process.
Yeah, definitely.
I guess that's actually the perfect segue into one of my favorite questions. But, and by the way, I love that I'm looking at the manuscript for Wicked. In hindsight 2020, what is something in your career life that didn't happen that at the moment was seemed or disguised itself as failure, but today is a blessing in disguise?
Lots of things. Lots of things. Lots of things that I wish had happened. The funny thing is, today, right now, in this moment, everything has been perfectly imperfect. There have been disappointments throughout my career, and there have been things that I might have just missed out on. There have been things that didn't quite turn out the way I wanted it to. And in hindsight, all those things, like, I believe there are no mistakes. I believe that failure is I don't believe in failure. I believe that perceived failure are pointers to get you back on course. So everything that has happened to me that differently to what I wanted to happen, I have, even if I couldn't quite do it at the moment, I now know in hindsight it happened to lead me to today, and today is pretty freaking awesome. And so there isn't a specific. I can't actually give you, I mean, I could give you specifics, but the specifics are null and void. The point is now that I'm actually really thankful that some things didn't turn out. And I'm really thankful that, 6 months before getting this opportunity to go on Broadway, it was quiet. But I think that was the universe's way of going, maybe you should just go over there for a second. And then that's what happened. So, I think it's great when things are not quite working out, if you can consciously try and discover why that is. A lot of the times we look at it and feel so disappointed or distraught by things not working out that we forget to look at maybe there's a blessing within it. And it takes a lot. Like, it's not an easy thing to do. I sit here saying that, and I know that there will be difficult times that happen inevitably, because that is life. And I know that whilst those are happening, I may not have the foresight to go, what's the blessing? But hopefully, having been through what I have been through, I can get there a little quicker and try and get myself back on course. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I want to ask you, if you had to describe yourself in one word, what would that word be? That's the word?
That's not a word.
That's the word. Passionate. I'm passionate. I'm passionate about my life. I'm passionate about my friends. I'm passionate about my family, the people I love. And I'm passionate about my career. I'm passionate about giving through that career some kind of joy to others. I feel, because the other word would be loving, but I think there's I'm just freaking passionate about everything. And so I would say that is probably the best word to sum me up. Other than
Very similar. I can see why you would just lead with The last thing I just have to know, it's my favorite question is, what is the most joyful part for you in being a performer?
The most joyful part is, especially when you're doing live theatre, is to look into the audience at the end when you're taking your bow and to see someone who might have had a rough day have a smile on their face, to see the kid in the audience be inspired to possibly do what you're doing, to know that you've been able to share your light and maybe brighten the other person's light. That's everything. That's the biggest joy.
That's so moving for me.
And I think I have found looking at different artists and seeing their light and just feeling so full. And so when you are able to think that, oh my God, that came through me and that person seems moved, of course you get satisfaction because you know it's like, oh wow, like you're moved by the fact that they appreciate what you've done. But for me, it's seeing that joy means maybe you've given them, I don't know, a bit of hope or a bit of happiness or a bit of inspiration that they might not have gotten. And people tend to come back and see, like shows like Wicked, they have people that come back and see the show like 9, 10, 11, 12 times, and with different people in the main roles and stuff like that. And so, you know, sometimes it's bigger than, you're a vessel for whatever the story that is being told. I think that's important to know as well as an artist. Like, we're vessels. And so, you know, if they come back and they've seen the show 10 times, but they're seeing you do it and they say to you, oh my God, I never knew that I could feel that when you said this. That's amazing. Well, because it is like, you know, you can watch the most technical dancer and not be moved. Or you can watch someone who is equally as technical, but something is happening through them that is bigger than them. They're able to connect to something that is bigger than them, that then in turn sparks something within you. And that's pretty huge when you, as an artist, realize that you have the ability, and we all have it, not just as an artist, we have it as humans. We have it as humans in the world, going about our business. To smile at someone when you're walking down the street is everything. To be able to give that person a smile, you don't know what's going on in there. Maybe they're the happiest person in the world, but maybe they're going through a really shitty time. And it takes nothing to just go, hey, you know, or just smile and move on with your day. Who knows? But I know that people have done that to me, and in moments it's meant so much. So if you can live your life day to day like that, it's amazing. And then if you can connect to that during those moments where you're on that high frequency creating as an artist, it's huge. It's massive.
With all that you've just said, you know, and the artists and the creativity and the connectivity and the most joyful part at the end of it for you, if you had something to say to this little boy, little girl standing in front of you that's wanting to be a Broadway star, what could you say that would inspire them? What would you want to say?
No, so much. So much, and then quite simply, follow your dream. Follow your dream. We all have the power to make our dreams come true. The belief that takes is you having to really keep hold of that dream. Because there have been times in my life where that dream has always been within my gut, but I might not have been quite as focused on staying like, yeah, that's my dream. And also because it's very difficult. People will tell you no. People will knock you. You'll fall. Get back up, keep on walking, follow your dream. Because also, my dream and my experience is always going to be different from yours and yours. from everyone's. So if you follow that dream, your individual dream, you really can't go wrong. You live a happy life. You live with no regret. And everything that comes that is more than that dream is a bonus. I feel like if you deter from your dream because you've been advised to, or you deter from your dream because you think it's what you should do, I think that's when people lose their way. And then it's very difficult to get back on track at times. Or maybe it's not. I think, if anything, it's not difficult to get back on track if you then look within yourself and go, what was my dream? Oh, it was that. Okay, well, let's keep on following that. But we just live in a world that is being dictated. We're seeing a lot of people's dreams being published out, like a lot of inner thoughts that we would never know normally are on a status. And so, which is great. It's great to share in other people's dreams and celebrate that, but you have to keep hold of your own individual dream to really have success in life.
Is there anything that we didn't ask you that you want to share that you wish we would have asked? Or, you know, it could be anything. It could be about art, not about art, anything you want.
No, I feel like we touched on, because to me, the art, it's funny, even just talking to you both, what I actually literally have just discovered in this moment is, because when you ask these questions in this way, you're discovering again what it actually is for you. And to me, it's so much more than, it's a life thing. It's not, you know, like what we do as artists is just what we do, but who we are as people is who we are. And when we connect who we are to the art, that's what makes the art magical. When we're doing the art form and unconnected, like it's just like reevaluated that, like just talking to you has made me kind of go, yeah, that is exactly how I feel about it. And that is what works for me. Maybe it works differently for other people. But it's more than, yeah, when I'm preparing to go into rehearsals, I have to do this in order to do that. That's, in my humble opinion, BS, because it's about how I live my life. Then going into rehearsals is just a natural progression, you know. And the funny thing is, because I have literally just discovered this afresh, that someone was asking me at lunch the other day, they were like, you know, my God, you're going to be on Broadway at the end of July. Are you nervous? And I went, no. No, it's really freaking weird. I'm not nervous. I would have been maybe a few years back when I was not quite in touch with this a little bit, or I'd, you know, kind of diverted from it. But no, I know when I stand in the wings opening night before I walk on that this moment is meant to be happening because it's happening. So I don't feel nervous. I just feel really bloody excited. And I do believe that the universe, the world, God does not give you anything that you can't handle, that we get in our own way. So you have to make a conscious choice not to get in your own way. And I feel like I've really abundantly made that choice at the moment, and hopefully forever, to not get in my own way.
Well, you do feel so connected. Like, in sitting here and talking to you, I feel that you are so connected to yourself. So I'm really excited for you to be in that space, walking into this really amazing opportunity.
Thank you. And I have to say that like the connection that, like what we're talking about, for anyone watching who doesn't quite feel that at the moment, that's okay. You need to go through that to find that for yourself in your own way. Because this, like I said earlier on, you know, this is something that maybe I was in touch with naturally younger, that I fell out of touch with, that I've come back in touch with, and it's probably deeper because I've experienced not being in touch with it. And I'm able to verbalize it because I've experienced the other side of it. You know, and I just think it's important for someone who's watching that maybe feels lost. That's okay. You feel lost. Now try and see what that feeling is trying to point you towards, and walk towards it. Even if it's difficult, walk towards it. Keep on walking. Because people tend to stand still. Standing still does nothing. Clear the space, let something come to you, and keep on walking.
Honestly, I'm very thank you for taking the time to sit with us and for really...
Thank you for asking me. I feel really honored that you even asked me.
It's so amazing.
What you've said has been short and sweet and moving and simple yet so profound, and a lot of it resonates for me in my heart. So I'm grateful to have you with us today. So with that being said, we're so grateful to have had Jai Frasca on Energy in Motion today, and to witness his energy in motion has been truly moving. We're so excited to see him on Broadway for Wicked. If you have the chance to go to New York and happen to be there in the next year, please do come in and support one of our artists.
Come to the stage door, say hello.
Yeah. And we'll see you again soon. I hope you've been touched like we have.